Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Spontaneity. I'm the spontaneous one. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Bossary deck. It comes with this beautiful deck box and Bossary the Planeswalker. I'm going to review over him. This deck's not really in an order. I have it commons down. But yeah, I'm going to talk about it, say what I like about it, and we'll go from there. Starting off, we have 4 copies of Adherent the Hope. 1 color is 1 white. It's a 2/1 human soldier. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, if you control a Basri Planeswalker, put a 1/1 counter on Adjacent of Hope. If you have the main card of the deck out, this thing's going to tank up very quickly, getting a bunch of +1/+1 counters on it. If not, it's a 2 cost 2/1. It's worth it if you have the Planeswalker. If not, it's definitely one of you wouldn't put any deck that you're not using that Planeswalker in. Next up, we have Makeshift Battalion. 2 colors, 1 white. Human Soldier, 3/2. When Makeshift Battalion and at least 2 other creatures attack, put a 1/1 counter on Makeshift Battalion. So it's running 4 copies of this. If you have 1 copy of this on the field and 2 other creatures, or funny enough, if you have 3 of these, you would each get 1/1 counters on it. And it's worth swinging every turn if you're running a lot of these. If you don't, it's a good 3/2 blocker. 3/2 for a 3 cost is about average nowadays. Next, we have a card that I actually run in a couple different decks. Bossarys Igloo type. I do apologize if I mispronounce the names. It's 2 colorless, 2 white. It's a cat cleric. It's a 2/3 lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each up to 2 other target creatures you control. So if you have, let's say, 2 copies of this on the field, they would get 1/1 counters, and if you full swung, they would get more 1/1 counters. This deck is really focused around lifelink and 1/1 counters, and it's a good way to get 1/1 counters onto the battlefield. Atoned, I'm gonna butcher the last part. Chorister. It's a 1 cost human cleric, 1/1 lifelink. Tap 4 and 4 colors and 1 white. It gets +3/+3 until end of turn. This is a good early game swing to gain life. Much past that, it's not gonna be very helpful, other than at fodder to take damage. But early game, the lifelink's good. Next, we have Swift Response. It's a 1 colors, 1 white instant. Excuse me. Destroy target tapped creature. It's a very good effect. Yes, it has to be tapped, but it's cheaper than a lot of the destroy target creatures. So it being tapped doesn't make it harder, but if they're just attacking with a big guy, you could block it and then just destroy it for a 2 cost. I love running them. They're very strong cards. Really cheap too. Last but not least, in the common section, we have Perimeter Sergeant. 2 colors, 1 white. When Perimeter Sergeant attacks, other humans you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. It's a 3/2, and it's good because you're running a lot of humans in here. We've covered only 1 non-human card so far, so it makes it really nice. I think there's only 2. There might be 3. Next up, in the uncommon section, we have Skillgated Con Contender. 3 colorless, 1 white, 3/3. It has lifelink as long as it has a 1/1 counter on it. It's not going to be that hard to put 1/1 counters with all the 1/1 counter generation you're actually running in this deck. Meaning it'll gain lifelink pretty easily. 4/4 with lifelink is really just a good card overall. Not great by itself, but in the deck that just revolves around 1/1 counters, it's definitely one of the stronger cards. Next one, we have Tempted Veteran. It's 1 colorless, 1 white, 1/2, Human Knight. Pay 1 white, tap, put a 1/1 creature on, put a 1/1 counter on target creature with a 1/1 counter. Or you can pay 4 colors, 2 white, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. This is good to just amplify the amount of 1/1 counters you have, because you're just paying 1, tapping it, it gets a 1/1 counter. Now, if there's no 1/1 counter generation, this wouldn't be that strong of a card, but because you have a lot of it, it's going to be very useful. One of my personal favorite cards in the deck, Fight as One. It's 1 colorless, you can choose one or both. Target human creature you control gets 1/1 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Target non-human creature you control gets a 1/1, gains indestructible until end of turn. At bare minimum, you get a 1 creature with 1/1 and indestructible. Best, you get 2 1/1 counters for the cost of 1, and it helps a lot. It's overall a really strong card. Plus, you can play it on opponent's turn if you want that indestructible effect. Avian Ganglemaster. It's a 5 cost, 3 colorless, 2 white, bird warrior, flying. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each creature you control with flying, 4/3. It's pretty good for the fact that you gain life, and it follows in with the cards that are not human, because it is a bird, but it also fits into like the warriors and knights and all that fun stuff. Next card is Vanishing Light. 2 colorless, 1 white. Enchantment, when it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until this card leaves the battlefield. That's really good for the fact of they could have a really strong wall or an enchantment that's really bothering you, and it can actually just stop them by banishing it until this is gone. So if they have enchantment removal, it doesn't really help. Also, I'm sorry for like the stuffy nose and like my sneezing and stuff. I'm not really sick, it's starting to get to allergy season, so it's not really helping. Bossarys Angus. 2 colors, 2 white, sorcery, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. You may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Basri Devoted Paladin. Reveal it and put it in your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. This is really strong because 1, you get the main card of the deck, and 2, you get more 1/1 counters, which is going to be used to either tank or just help out all the round effects. It's a really good sorcery, and if you're not running the Planeswalker, I wouldn't run that card, but it's still very strong. It has a strong synergy with the deck. Speaker of the Heavens, 1 white, excuse me. Human Cleric, 1/1, Vigilance, Lifelink, which is already great for a 1 white. Tap, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Activate this ability only if you have at least 7 life more than your starting life total. Only anytime you can cast a sorcery. This is so broken. Creating 4/4 angels is an amazing effect, and all you have to do is have 7 life over, which a lot of cards in this deck have lifelink, including this one. So you can very well abuse this by just tapping it and creating a 4/4 angel. Next up, we have Bossarys Lieutenant, 3 colorless, 1 white, Human Knight. It's a 3/4 Vigilance, protection from multicolor, which any form of protection in this game is really good. When Bossarys Lieutenant enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. 1/1 counters, and it's an amazing thing. When Bossarys Lieutenant or another creature you control dies, if it has a 1/1 counter on it, create a 2/2 white knight creature token Vigilance. This is an amazing effect because they're creating a lot of 1/1 counters, and even if this one dies, it floats into another 2/2, which isn't very weak. Plus, Vigilance is amazing because you can swing and then just block with it. I love this deck for cards like this. It makes it very strong and very playable. And lastly, we have the Planeswalker itself, 4 colorless, 2 white. It's a loyalty. It starts as a loyalty 4. It has a +1 effect of put a 1/1 counter on target 1 creature you control. It gains Vigilance until end of turn. It has a -1 of when a creature attacks this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. And it has a -6 of creatures you control get +2/+2 in flying. If you can get its -6 off, it's definitely going to be a game swing. If not, 1/1 counters is very strong, plus they gain Vigilance, or you can just do a full swing -1. All your guys now have 1/1 counters on it. Now, it's running 26 lands, which is a lot of lands, but it's definitely a strong deck. Could definitely be modernized, don't get me wrong, but just for a cheap $10 deck that you can buy, I would definitely suggest looking into it. It has some very strong cards, and I've definitely enjoyed playing it. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Bye.